Alright, what is up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be checking out a game over from the East. And this game took place last night. Well, technically like this morning, I guess at the time of me recording this. And as you can see down here at the bottom where it says 11 hours ago. And this was over in the Eastern meta, so OP-05. Alright. And it's probably technically like OP-05.5 at this point. I'm not exactly sure. And yeah, the technicalities, who cares? If you need to find this website so that you can watch these games yourself, I will leave a something in the comments or in the description of the video so y'all can check that out. So that you can check that out if you want to. Otherwise, you can just click on my YouTube and check under my subscriptions. You should be able to find it there. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into this game. Make sure the volume is off and make sure it's on 2x speed. That is the way that I like to start it. And today's game is going to be between purple Luffy and Katakuri. You know, of course, yellow Katakuri. Okay, so starting hand for the Katakuri player looks pretty nice. We've got a 1, 3, 4, 5 cost character and a 7 cost character over here. This is 7 cost Charlotte Linlin, the special championship alternate art version. But we're looking at a pudding start into Perospero or potentially Smoothie. You know, we'll have to see where they go. And then a 2K counter and the 7 cost. So very, very nice opening hand for the Charlotte Katakuri player. Let's see if it shows us. It does. Okay, so it looks like we've got a page 1 for Luffy. We've got a 4 cost Trafalgar Law blocker, a 5 cost Trafalgar Law, and then a queen, or not Law, excuse me, Eustace Kid, and then the standard queen, but in a special championship alt-art version, and it looks like Magellan, alt-art Magellan over on the far right. So I would say this is a pretty decent opener for both players. Now, yes, unless, let me say this, unless Luffy is going first, well, no, then he could still technically play these cards on turn 2 because of his leader's effect. So yeah, I would say maybe not a perfect start for the Luffy, but still a pretty good start. Okay, so let's say I'm going to fast forward here, guys. I don't know what. Okay, there we go. Here we go. So off to the races. Yep, 1 Dawn and pass for the Luffy. 2 Dawn, and we're probably going to see a pudding search right away. It's hard to beat the searchers on turn 1. Okay, looks at top 4. Let's go ahead and pause it here. I think it's Satori, Zoro, Sanji, and another 7 cost Lin. 7 cost Lin. So right here, he has 1 2K in hand, but you never have enough of these. I don't think he wants the Zoro. This is a 4 cost 5K Zoro with a 1K counter that has a trigger effect to KO a 4 or less, if I'm not mistaken. Sanji, we know what that is, and then 7 Lin. He already has 1 7 cost Lin, but he's going against a deck that does go deep into the game, like, and puts down some pretty large characters. So these are a lot of good decisions. A blocker and Sanji, but yeah, he's going to take the 7 cost. 7 cost Charlotte Linlin here makes a lot of sense. Let me make sure the volume is not. There we go. Okay, just adjusting the volume. So Luffy is going to go up to. Did I miss something? Okay, hang on. He did that so quickly. Let me go back real quick. Yeah, he's going to use his leader's effect here. So he draws for the turn, goes to 3 Dawn, use the leader effect to draw a card from his life, and go up to 4 Dawn. Swing for 5, and we're going to see a 4 cost card here. And let me see something real quick. How many cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, that was 6 for that one. I think if he had taken that, he would have gone to 7, if I'm not mistaken, and then you would have played the Trafalgar Law to really punish your opponent there. But he's just going to follow up with a 4 cost 6K vanilla. Okay, so Katakuri going up to 4 Dawn. Quite a few options in hand. We've got 2 Perosperos here. And really that is going to be what happens here, right? Okay, so swing 7 at leader. He adjusts his life and puts it at the bottom. So he will know what is at the bottom of his life here. Purple Luffy takes it. Okay, and then drops down Perospero. Yeah, just a very clean play. I've talked about this in other videos. The way Katakuri plays out on the even curve is just, like, it's sensational, right? It's incredible. You just go turn 1. Turn 1 is always just play pudding if you have it. And then turn 2, you play Sparrow, and with the extra Dawn, you still get to swing for 7 with your leader's effect and adjust your life for your opponents. And then it just keeps going from there. Like he'll be able to play like a 4-cost next turn and still swing with his leader, right? Or excuse me, it'd be a 5-cost. Excuse me. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look here. Let me get this guy's arm out of the way. Not much has changed. All right, so these first 5 cards are what we already knew about, and he had top decked the 4-cost vanilla on board, but he's got another Trafalgar Law blocker, an ulti, and I think it's Miss Doublefinger, which is a 4-cost, 4,000 power, 2k counter. This will be interesting. I think, okay, he did his leader's effect. Did I miss? I didn't see that, did I? Let me make sure. Sorry, I have it so fast. Sometimes I have to go backwards. Yeah, he says, yep, going to use leader's effect. Go down to 2 life, draw a card from life, draw the card from the life, obviously, and go up a Dawn. So he is sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Dawn versus 4 Dawn currently for the Katakuri. Next turn he'll be on 6 Dawn. So, okay, and let's see what kind of advantage he can generate from this. I like the, you see they're showing Magellan on the far right screen here. I like the idea of playing Magellan here to slow down the Katakuri even further. Okay, swing 6. He has an easy 2k counter out of this. I think he should use it personally. Okay. And then let's see what happens next. He still has his leader swing. And he has 7 Dawn. So now he has 5 Dawn to work with, and he's going to swing 7 at leader. 7's that number where early on in the game you probably should just take it unless you're playing around certain effects. Plays out a Eustace kid. That is interesting to me. That is very interesting. Like I feel like that was the absolute perfect opportunity to play Magellan. That's just me. Personally, like that's what I would do. Now, I understand he doesn't have a ton of counter power. Well, I don't know. I have to look at the Purple Luffy's hand again in a second. And it looks like our Katakuri player got a 2 million volts, Amaru or whatever it's called, Strusen, and the 8-cost Katakuri. And I'm going to go ahead and bring that up on the side so that we can see these cards, because some of these are cards we don't have over in the West yet. So, let me see. So, this is the first one I was just talking about. It's called 200 million volts Amaru. This is a 2-cost, up to 1 of your leader or character cards gains plus 3,000 power during this turn. Then, if you have, excuse me, 1 or less life cards, rest up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. And then the trigger is trash 2 to gain a life, right? So, I mean, this is, this is very nice. Right, and then the other one, yeah, we already know what the others do. So I will leave this open on the side here if we need it for later. So let's see what happens here, and let's see if there's any kind of potential punishment for not, taking a Dawn away from his opponent here. Okay, so he's going to swing 6. That elicits a 2k counter, right? And still 5 Dawn left. Now he's going to swing 8. Right, 5 plus 6 for the leader effect, plus 2. Yeah, so now swing 8. Here we go. So now he's gonna have to. I feel like you. Oh, he's swinging at the. Is that Apu? I can't remember who that is. Let me see over here real quick. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure that's who that is. Yes, it is. So he swings at Apu and takes that out. So that was very nice. Swings 8 at Apu. It's a 6k character, so he'd have to 2k and a 1k to get out of it. Okay, and then what happened? I'm sorry. 1 second, please. Then he plays Sparrow and passes. Okay. And again, he was able to do all that because he had the Dawn to do all that, right? Otherwise, it'd been a 5k swing and then an 8k swing, right? But I don't know. We'll have to see. I still feel like that was like the most perfect opportunity to use his Magellan. So he's going to use Queen. Draw 2, trash 1, and he return a Dawn to do it, but the Eustace Kid 5-cost blocker is going to put that Dawn back into play, basically active. It's almost like it refreshed a Dawn card. Okay, so he still has 5 Dawn to play with, so let's see if this pays off, because again, that was the perfect time to play Magellan, so maybe now is his time to play Magellan. Because that would put him down to, because he has 9 Dawn active. So if he plays Magellan here, he'll return 1 Dawn card, and then go, then next turn he'll still be at 10 Dawn, because he'll only go down to 9. Or he'll only go down to 8 Dawn, excuse me. Yeah, he's thinking about it. Absolutely. Okay, very nice. So, I feel like that was like one turn too late, but it ended up coming back around where he got a double play out of the Eustace Kid. That's a very powerful interaction where on 9 Dawn, you can use 10 Dawns worth. And now he's sitting on 2 blockers and a Magellan. So let's see what the Katakuri can do here. Swing 5. He has 2 6K blockers. He does have 2 6K blockers. I personally would be using one here. Okay, so he's going to... It's an easy 1K counter out. Okay. And I don't think he wants to use those laws because he can't get the full value out of them anymore. But that's still a 4 cost 5K. Okay, and here's the second one. So now he's going to use a blocker. Very nice. Now, wow. Okay, so 7 cost Linlin comes down. This character says either, you know, your opponent gets to choose. Are you going to let your opponent gain a life, or are you going to take a life personally? It's a lose-lose situation that you get put in, but the purple Luffy player said, I'm not going to give you a life, I'm just going to lose a life. And I guess there's a few different lines of logic here. I personally like to just give my opponent life. Yes, I realize that gives access to more triggers, and who knows, if I was playing purple Luffy right now, maybe I'd feel differently about that. But life is a resource, right? Like, that is a card he will not draw now, and that is one more swing he cannot take now. I personally would just let my opponent gain the life. Try to get full board control, try to get full control of the game, and then start having to worry about triggers. But the other line of logic is this, or another line. I'm sure there's multiple lines of logic. The other line of logic is, okay, I'm going to get rid of all my life early so that this card no longer has any effect. Right? But if that were the case, then he should have just taken both hits earlier. You know, I don't know. That's that. Again, I would not take the life at this current stage of the game. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. And by the way, we have another 7 cost Linlin coming up after this. So very, very potentially, you know, lot of potential coming out here for the Katakuri player. Okay, now this is we got an X-Drake in hand. There's only 4 cards left on the opponent's... Like, the Katakuri only has 4 cards in hand. But, see, with those pair of Sparrows down, he's probably going to be gaining some cards back. So, yeah, he's probably going to have to hold on to the X-Drake as a 2K counter. Same with Miss Doublefinger. But, okay, so he's going to play the 7 cost Kid here, which makes a lot of sense. Return of Dawn. Return of Dawn with... Let me pause that. Return of Dawn with this character's effect right here to put your leader at 6,000 for the turn. Go plus 1,000. Then Return the Dawn back as active from the 5 cost Kid's effect. So now he's sitting on 4 active Dawn when he should only have 3. Very nice. Now he's going to swing with Magellan, it looks like. Swing for 6. Where is it going? It's going at life. Okay. So, let's see. And 6K more at life. Alright, we're looking at a trigger right now. Potential trigger. It was a beige. Okay, so he did not want to use beige there. And I agree. There's no really... He's not swinging with Queen or Kid, right? He's at 1 life. He's not swinging with these two. At least, you know, I don't think he is. Here's the thing that gets me, though. Okay, why not go for board control? Because, you know, if you attack with your pair of Sparrow, or if you attack his pair of Sparrows and they die, which he'll let them die to draw the card, right? He'll let them get KO'd so he can draw a card. He's going to get a card either way, right? So instead of using the pair of Sparrow, getting the board control off, he just drew a card from life and potentially got a trigger. And I don't know what he got from life. Let me see if we can go back and pause it. It looks like he got a smoothie from that and a beige. Or maybe it was a pudding. It was the pudding or the smoothie. I don't remember. And then the beige. Well, now he's just going to be able to do a top search anyway if that's what you were trying to prevent here, and you'd save 2 life. I don't know. I personally... Or not save 2 life, excuse me. You'd get 2 of his characters off the board. If I were Luffy here, I would have attacked the pair of Sparrows. That's just me personally. Not saying it's a bad call. That's just the way that I would have done it. Okay. Alright, so he drew a beige, they're showing. And now he's going to play a 4-cost blocker law and does not have 7 cards in hand, so doesn't have to worry about trashing a card. And he didn't use the effect, you know, that would be a -1 Dawn he didn't do, obviously. Okay, so now we have another Katakuri. So I'm going to pause right here. We got to look at this. So he's sitting on 10 Dawn now, I believe. Right? I'm going to go back real quick. No, he's going to be at 9 Dawn. Okay, so let's do that. Boom, he's at 9 Dawn. In this situation, I'm not really too worried about using my pudding. I would rather play this 7-cost Charlotte Linlin, because my opponent is at 1 life. So they're either going to trash their last life, or I'm going to gain another life. And you establish a 7-cost 8K body. Then you swing with your 7-cost 8K that's on the board, and your 2 5Ks and your 5K leader. You know, well, excuse me, he won't be able to swing with all those because the Luffy is at 6K power this turn from the Eustace Kids effect. But in that case, maybe you just play her, swing with the 8K, and sit on the 1000 volts Amaru. But we'll have to see what happens here. I'm very anxious to see, very curious to see what he wants to do with this. Because there's a few lines here he could do. Katakuri could just get the 7-cost character out of the way. But really, I think playing the 7-cost Linlin is just so crazy right here. Because, think about it. Either you're going up to 3 life, or they're going down to 0 life. And then you're still going to have 2 Dawn active, if I counted correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. You'll still have your 2 Dawn active for 200 million volts Amaru. Okay. It looks like he's going to tap 8. Very nice. And he's going to get rid of the 7 cost, for sure. Put it at the bottom. Your turn. Or excuse me, maybe not your turn. He's probably going to attack with at least, yeah, swing 8 here. Where is it going? Is he going at Magellan, or is he going at face? Sorry, guys. I unfortunately, I don't know where he's swinging. It is an 8K attack, so swinging at Magellan does make sense because he'll have to go 2K over to save it. But also swinging at life makes sense because then maybe he'll use a blocker in place. You know, there's a few different things that could happen here. He does have the Trafalgar Law, which maybe you just trash that right here. Okay, so he went at Magellan. So, okay, he loses 2 Dawn there. Not a big deal. Swing 7 at leader. Looks at top card. He knows what the bottom card is, correct? I don't think he changed. Well, he should know what both of these cards are now, I think, no matter what. Right? I'm pretty sure that's the case. Unfortunately, I was not paying enough attention. But because he looked at a card earlier in the game and put it to the bottom, so he knows what that is. And now he's at second from the bottom. He knows what this is. So he obviously played this Katakuri with the knowledge of what was in his life. Okay, plays. So the purple Luffy player plays out Queen. Queen plus 5 cost Kid is just incredible interaction here. Excuse me. Okay, we got an event right here. I'll look this up for us real quick. I don't even know what this is called off the top of my head. So let me just do purple event, save, and we'll find it real quick. So it's called Sheep's Horn. Let me show you guys what this card here is. It's a 2-cost event, no trigger. On your main, Dawn -1, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less. So this is kind of worthless against Katakuri's current board state, right? Like, it's really just, it doesn't do anything. I'm surprised he doesn't trash that, because it can't hit Katakuri. I'm sorry, did he trash Pauly? Pauly's at least a body, but I don't know, maybe there's more utility for later in the game if a Sanji comes down or something. So... But that's interesting, like, because I feel like looking at the board right now, I'm thinking, how do I get rid of this? You know, how do I start taking this out of here so I can win this game? But let's see what happens. So that was only 4 Dawn. It was technically 5, but remember, he returned 1 Dawn with Eustace Kid's effect because Queen returns 1 to the Dawn deck. Okay, so 5K coming in at leader. It has to be at the leader. And 1K counter out with Smoothie. Now, oh, okay, 7K. So, okay, so Luffy's determined here that he wants to put on the gas, right? This is not working out just sitting back and blocking. Even though these are very good blockers, he needs to put a little more pressure on his opponent here. That's interesting. That is interesting. So, with Katakuri here, I wonder if you take it just to bait your opponent into swinging with more characters. Okay, so they showed his hand. He's got a beige. He's going to take it. He knew what it was. So it's a Thunderbolt. Okay. Yep, so we knew it was going to be Thunderbolt. Plays out the second 5-cost Kid. Okay. That was interesting. That was very... This is another situation where I'm not trying to be highly critical. These guys are obviously very good. This is, you know, this is the, I believe this was top 8 This might be the final game, if I'm not mistaken, over in the East. Katakuri versus PLuffy at whatever tournament this most recent one was. Obviously, these are extremely good players, but some of these plays are interesting to me. That's all I'm going to say. They're just a little bit interesting. Okay, so let's see what happens. See, that's yet another reason. Oh, look how awesome that Thunderbolt is, guys. That alt art Thunderbolt, just incredible. So anyway, so that's another reason why I don't know why you would let those Parasparrows survive earlier. Because if you think about it, the yellow Katakuri player has not gotten to 10 Dawn at all. Just like has not gotten to 10 Dawn this game. He's back to 9 Dawn because he had to take out the Magellan last turn. So it's like, okay, you know, there's no reason to play around Big Mom. Number one, he doesn't even have Big Mom. I know that the 10 Lin, the 10 calls Charlotte Linlin. I know our opponent doesn't know that, but at the same time, he could not have even played Charlotte Tinlin this entire game, and we're on like turn. I don't know what turn we're on exactly, but I feel like we're on like turn 6, 7, 8. I don't even know. Okay, so let's see what happens next here. So deep in the tank here, he's got a lot of things he can do here. Yet again, 7 Lin coming down is just huge. Either you're losing a life card, and then you're going to have to block an 8K, an 8K, another 7K, and some 6Ks here probably. You know, like it's... Can you really give up a life at this point in the game? And if you don't give up a life, well, then you're giving your opponent a life. So 7 Lin makes a lot of sense here to me, because you'll still have 2 Dawn active to mess around with. A lot of possibilities here. A lot of possibilities. In fact, let me see something. So there's only 4 cards in our opponent's hand. There are only 4 cards in hand. So it's like he's got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean this is getting pretty dangerous. This is dangerous territory for the PLuffy player. All right, let's see what the Katakuri player chooses to do here. Big fan of that jacket. That looks really nice. That's a cool jacket. You know, I know that's random, but that's a sweet jacket. Okay. What do we do? This is a tough spot, because I feel like you can just go, okay, swing 9, there goes a blocker. Swing 9, there goes a blocker. Swing 7, 7, 7, there goes the rest of your blockers and probably one of your last life cards. And if he gets greedy, if the PLuffy player gets greedy at any point, okay, Thunderbolt, get rid of your last blocker to swing for game. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. Oh, that, I'm sorry, guys. Earlier I was talking about this 200 million volts Amaru. That is a main activation. For some reason, I thought that was a counter. I'm sorry, guys. 200 million volts Amaru is a main activation. So, all right, let's go back and see what would happen there. Guys, I am tripping. I am absolutely losing it right now. Let me bring that card back up and reread this. I just completely blanked out there. So, oops, what happened? Let me pause it. Ah. Where'd it go? There we go. Okay, so 200 million volts Amaru is up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 3,000 power during this turn. Then if you have 1 or less life cards, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. Oh, wow. So he's about to tap down the Trafalgar Law. And that's what he did. So he taps down Law. There goes another one of your blockers, and we still have a Thunderbolt. Okay, wow. So I think Katakuri is looking at going lethal here, guys. I really do. Swing 5. Let's see what you do. It's either going to be a card out of hand, or I'm going to take one of your blockers is worthless. Wow. This is a very interesting board state. I do have to say that. Very, very interesting board state. Because there's still going to be a 9K swing, a 9K swing, and probably another 9K swing. So, okay, so what did he do? Did he took the life. I would go 9K with this personally. It looks like he wants to swing sideways with 7 Lin. Okay, so going 8K makes sense as well, because that would be 2 2K counters, right? So that also makes sense to me. And he does have the 2 2K counters here with X-Drake and Ulti. Let's see what happens. This is a really dicey position. Super, super dangerous position to be in. I wonder if you think about just taking this as purple Luffy and saying like, no, I'm gonna force you into investing. You're going to have to invest the rest of your turn into this if you want to try to KO me, and if you don't, the crackback's going to win me the game. It looks like he's thinking about taking it. I don't know if it'll be the right play or not. I'm just saying, because clearly, this Katakuri player is no, he's not dumb, right? He swung for 8K with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Dawn active for a reason. Because if this attack doesn't go through, I think he just plays 7 cost Charlotte Linlin and just dumps the, gets rid of the pudding. Unless he gave the pudding. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. So he swung for 8 with the Parasparrow from the Amaru. Sorry, guys. I did completely forget about that. Oh, and he took the life. Okay. Wow, guys, hang on. What did he draw from it? He drew a... it's not showing us. Oh, okay, we already knew what it was. It was the 7 cost. It was the 7 cost. Oh, man. So he took the life. 2 blockers open, 3 attacks remaining. So at this point, you're definitely not following up with 7 cost Charlotte Linlin. So, okay. Take 8. Gonna have to 2K counter out of this. He's gonna have to 2K counter out of this for fear of Thunderbolt. Right? Like, if he loses a blocker here, then it's just game over. Now, understandably, our opponent does not know if there is a Thunderbolt in hand. But can you even risk it? Because you know he's running Thunderbolt because you got hit with a Thunderbolt trigger from life earlier. Okay, so he gets to 4K, counters out, goes to 9. Okay, another 8K swing. Is 8 the magic number nowadays, guys? Is 8 the magic number? Swing for 8. This is going to cost a blocker. And then Thunderbolt. Swing for 8. Oh, wow. Good game. Yeah, there was nothing in hand. Let me see something. He had a 1K, a 1K, and then the Eustace Kid. Wow. That was incredible. That was some really, really aggressive play from the Katakuri player, and I absolutely loved it. Congratulations to this guy. And like I said, I'm pretty sure this was for first place. I don't know. I'm trying to like kind of cycle through the video a little bit. But I'm pretty sure that was to get first place in this tournament. I could be wrong. Someone correct me if I am wrong about that, guys. I'm not exactly sure. And while we're talking, I just want to mention a few things. There were a few things that kind of stood out to me earlier that I kind of wish. I'm just going to say it like this, guys. There were actually like 3 things that stood out to me from the purple Luffy player. And again, he's playing with a different knowledge of the game than I am. He's playing in terms of, what he thinks can win. Everyone's playing in terms of what they think can win. I would have established the Magellan earlier. It's just what I would have done. And I understand the little tempo play he did afterwards by playing the Eustace Kid. The next turn he was able to get down both the Magellan and the Queen. But I guess ultimately in the long run that just didn't matter anyway. Especially since like these Parasparrows went completely unanswered. That's number one. That is like the number one thing I would have definitely done is taken out the Parasparrows. So let me change. Instead of number 1 being play Magellan, I can understand that play. It does make sense the way he did it. It was probably the higher value play. But playing Magellan early would have not allowed the turn that happened prior. See, like, let me just go back. I'm sorry, guys. We do have to at least talk about this. No, it wasn't this turn. It was right. Yeah, it was that turn, actually. Excuse me. So right here, the 4 cost play was normal. That made sense. Okay, now we got to go to this play right here. So when he swings 7 for leader, this is where I would have just established a Magellan. So now I go back a Dawn, that's fine, but so does my opponent. Because on my opponent's turn here, look what happens. Okay, swing for 6K. Now I'm going to have to drop a 2K counter out of hand, which means I can't just chump block with the blocker I just put down anyway. And then what happens next? Okay, he's going to use a 2K counter because it's just a high value counter. But then he's going to swing for 8. This is going through pretty much no matter what. Right? Unless he uses a blocker or a lot of counters in hand. Let's see what he does. So he goes, oh, excuse me, it takes out his Apu. and then he plays another pair of sparrow. So, okay, that's fine, but now we got to start taking out the pair of sparrows, right? Like, that's my next line of logic, is like, all right, let's get rid of these pair of sparrows, especially in this situation right here. Okay, and this is the last thing I'll talk about it, because everything else I think was kind of just preference-based. But you can't just let your opponent have a board unless you're doing a very specific strategy. And y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Is there something that you would... Do you agree with the play here, or would you have done things a little differently as well? I get that he doesn't want his opponent to draw cards, but board state in a game like One Piece is just absolutely massive, right? Like specifically, these pair of sparrows are just inviting you to KO them so he can draw his cards. Okay, well, it doesn't matter, right? Because he's not going to be at 10 Dawn next turn anyway. And you're going to keep smashing with your Magellan to set him back further as well. You know, you're kind of... if I were playing like... Okay, let me see. Here we go. There are 6 cards in hand. If I'm playing in the purple Luffy and I've got 2 4-cost Trafalgar Laws in hand, I'm inviting my opponent to draw cards, because I hope to get you up to 7 cards. So then I can make you lose 2 right off the bat again. So the 2 you just drew from Pair of Sparrow are getting gone. You know, they're getting taken care of. And I'm getting a 4-cost 5k body down. Okay, and then he does play this. All of this makes sense to me, except right here, when he goes 6k to the leader. I personally, because now you're also tempting triggers to just pop off the top, right? And that's dangerous, right? Now you're dealing with triggers. Let's see what he gets. Now we know the last 2 is going to be a Thunderbolt, and we never got to see what the final one was because the game didn't get to that point. Actually, I guess we would have. Here, hang on. We do have to see what it was when he used Thunderbolt here. Hang on 1 second, guys. We got to see that. So Thunderbolt. Well, so it was a 7-cost Charlotte Lin. Very nice. And I'm sorry. That is the one thing. The one other thing I wanted to mention was when he took the life as Charlotte Lin, or from the 7-cost Lin. I personally am going to let my opponent get cards, because if we get to the late game, Purple Luffy can be pretty dominant. Even though, I assumed that. Maybe this list, I don't have access to any of the lists, for those who are wondering if anyone has that question. I don't have access to either player's list currently. I'll try to update that as they release it. But maybe this Luffy player has more of like an aggro version of the list, because he seems to have a lot of 4-cost, 5-cost, and 4-cost and 5-cost characters. Like he's running the 5-cost Queen, he's running the 5-cost Magellan, the 5-cost Eustace Kid. He's got 4-cost Page 1, 4-cost Trafalgar Law, 4-cost Ulti. I know that's a 2k counter, but still. And then maybe that's what this deck just tries to do, is just outpace in that way. And then, okay, so there was the play, like I said, that I just, right here, when he plays that, I'm saying, hey, looks like you're going to gain a life. Congratulations. Because I personally would not be, I wouldn't want to get rid of my turns. Now, for those who don't know, I have talked about this ad nauseum at this point, you know, especially like if you combine all my other videos. Your life is a resource. It's a card you get to draw. It's 1 extra attack you get to take, and it's 1 extra potential trigger that could win you the game. So when you're just saying, oh, okay, I'll just throw my top card of my life away, no thanks. I would rather you gain a life that I can deal with way later in the game, after I establish board control and I have full control of the board. I would rather deal with it then, in that way. Because right now, it's 4 life with 1, 2, 3, 4 characters on board, versus 2 life and 3 characters on board. So even if you want to say Pudding doesn't count as a character, that's fine. It's still 4 life and 3 characters versus 2 life and 3 characters. Well, now you're about to go down to 1 life. You know, and he got rid of another blocker that was going to draw you more cards. And I know you don't know what that, you have no way of knowing what that card is, but still. Okay, well, you guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this as much as I did. I love commentating over these games. I thought this was an awesome game. Good to see Katakuri doing some things even over in the East, because I believe this is OP-05.5 meta, right? So really cool stuff there. If I messed anything up, y'all help me out in the comment section below. And as usual, guys, till next time, peace.